Welcome to the Think Like a Musician podcast. This show will teach you the time management skills you need to be joyful, productive, and fulfilled in all areas of life. You're going to learn a completely unique and innovative approach to managing your crazy, busy life. I'm a lifelong musician, so you're going to hear a musician's creative and intuitive system for time management and work-life balance. We'll discuss time management, work-life balance, goal setting, inspiration, creativity, peak performance, and living your purpose. I want to help you live your life like it's a masterpiece. I'm a life coach, professional speaker, productivity expert, and your host, Scott Snow. Well, hello everybody. Today I want to start with a book that I really love. It's called Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action by Simon Sinek. Now, this book's been around for a while, but I've been revisiting it, and it's so powerful. It's really helping me rethink how I market my company in my coaching. So an example is it's called the Golden Circle. If you can imagine 3 concentric circles, so like a bullseye. In the middle of the bullseye is your why, and then the next layer is your how, and then the outside is your what. So Sinek's example here is that most companies start with talking about the what they do, and then they might talk about how they do it or how they're different. And then maybe, but probably not, they might get to the why, but usually not. Whereas he says, flip that around, start with the why you do something, what you believe in, why you do it, and then say how you do it as an example of that why. Now I'm confusing myself. And then the what. So here's an example of what Simon would say Apple does. This would be how most companies would pitch their company. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Now, this is very boring. It gives you the kind of the basics, but it doesn't inspire you at all. Now let's flip it around and start with the why for Apple. This would go like this. This is the good one. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? So you can see the drastic difference there. So I've applied that to my own coaching business, Think Like a Musician. So here is my revised marketing pitch. Let's see what you think. I'm a life coach, and my business is called Think Like a Musician. With everything I do, I believe musicians have unique skills that will help you become more joyful, productive, and fulfilled. I teach a musician's creative approach to time management and living your purpose. I do this with one-on-one coaching, workshops, and speeches. Want to book a coaching session? I've been really busy revising my book, Think Like a Musician, and I want to read you the beginning paragraph. From chapter 1, Create Your Set List. Cymbals splashed, drums roared, and the groove of the mambo put Stacy into a trance-like state. She simply had to stand and dance. As she swayed her hips and moved to the beat, she began watching the drummer intensely. Each of his limbs was playing a different rhythm, yet the coordination of all the parts came together as a tight groove. His right hand played a syncopated rhythm on the ride cymbal, the largest cymbal in his kit. His left hand created a soft, crisp rim knock on the snare and tom-toms. His feet were on pedals and laid down a driving samba-like pattern that kept the music surging ahead. She wondered how the hell this guy was coordinating such a flurry of movement of hands and feet into a groove that made everyone dance. For a moment, they made eye contact, and he smiled as he kept the beat. So that's the beginning. So I'm really making it more like a fictional story, like a parable. And she meets this drummer who has this system. Of course, this drummer is me, and the system is Think Like a Musician. But I'm making it kind of fun, so I'm excited about it, and I'll keep you informed. I always like maps that are kind of like a diorama, like when you go to Disneyland and you get a map of the whole park, and it's from above, and you're looking down and you see all the sections of the park. Adventureland's over here, and Critter Country is over there, and Countryland, and Tomorrowland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, and the Disney Castle, the New Orleans Square is over here. So you can see all these different parts, and or Six Flags, you get the same thing. And I also notice when in the paper sometimes you'll see a diorama, and that's like real miniatured city or something, and it's on a big flat table. And I love those. I find them so fascinating. Like an architect looks at his reduced scale model of what they're building, because it makes me feel like I have perspective. I can see, and I can see all the moving parts. And that to me is very important. It helps me think. It helps me relax a bit and focus. This is the reason why we identify our roles, the 15 to 20 different hats that we wear, for this perspective and seeing all those moving parts to our life. It's so crucial. I like getting the eagle's view. Why do cats always sit on a perch? Because they're hunters. They want to look and see what's going on. They want to have the advantage. Or an eagle. This is also why you want to learn the 7 stages of project management in my system. When you have a large project, it goes through 7 stages very naturally. All of my creative pieces have gone through these 7 stages. You probably remember from previous podcast episodes on project management, but the 7 stages are: identify the spark. That's your emotional connection to the project. The gathering stage. That's where you're bringing all the pieces together. The brainstorming stage. Ask a million questions. Structure. That's where you're laying down the brass tacks. How many chapters is this book? What's the length of the composition? How many movements in this composition? How many phases to your business project? Then it's the action stage. You roll up your sleeves and get to work. And then the refining stage, you keep polishing it and refine it till it sparkles like a gem. And then the celebration stage. Now, one part of my planner is that you can have a projects at a glance grid. And that's where you see all of your projects that are on your plate in a grid, a table. And you can see one of them is in the structure stage. Another is in the gathering stage. One of them is in the refining stage. And this, right at a glance, you can say, oh, I'm revising that book and I'm at the structure stage now. So when you get some time to work on it, you're doing structure type of work. You're saying what chapters, I got to rehash what chapters I want to have, or the big major segments of each chapter. That's structure work. But in this project over here, I'm building a new deck. I'm still in the gathering stage. I'm getting pictures from online and books and opinions of other people. So it's such an important thing for you to be able to start up where you left off. That's key, because a lot of times, if we're not organized like that, we waste a lot of time trying to narrow back in, focus back into where we left off. That's why in-office work is so distracting. People are constantly tugging at your attention and you're losing your place and where you are. This helps you focus right in immediately. You know what you have to do. Also, this idea of having perspective from above connects with your mini mission statements. Listening to your mission statements for all of your roles and hovering over your goals regularly every day, a couple times a day. This helps you. Having recordings of your goals and mission statement help you connect with those. What you don't want to do is have like a New Year's resolution focus where you just make a goal on New Year's Eve and you're all happy and you're watching the Three Stooges marathon, and then 2 days later you've forgotten about it completely. That's why they are not effective at all, resolutions. Michaela Cole is a very talented actress, and she was in the hit show. Michaela Cole is a very talented actress, and she starred in the show on HBO, I May Destroy You, which is a very powerful drama. But she talks about how she likes to find transparency in her work and her life. She says that resilience that she gained was from climbing ladders with no stable ground beneath her. and that she doesn't climb in pursuit of safety or profit. She climbs to tell stories. And I love that mindset. I tend to think of that in journal writing. Like sometimes in life, if you have a journal, you might be motivated to try different things in life because you want to journal about them. You know, you can order that octopus soup on the menu just so that you can write about it. Give an extra tip, give a $50 tip somewhere, and just to write about it in your journal. Also, she says she doesn't allow incubation time for shame or guilt. She doesn't let it get planted in there. And I thought that was profound. I remember I think it was Brian Tracy that would say, when you hear something negative, just say, cancel, cancel in your subconscious. I even do it with my family sometimes. Cancel, cancel. And a great skill that you can develop is that identifying those negative influences. Flag it, alert it, sound the alarm. You know, like in Jim Carrey in The Grinch, where someone messes around with his front door and all the alarms go off. So you immediately know this is some bullshit coming. Got to know that. You have to have the ability to know right away if something is negative that you want to avoid. Otherwise, you're just in the zone and you're just internalizing it and making part of you, and you're on equal grounds with it. Get to the point where you can identify that crap right away. Then you can make decisions. You're not in it. You have that eagle's eye view. You might get into a practice of preparing yourself for social situations. I went to school at Anna Maria College for music therapy, and I loved how my professor used to have this centering process in supervision when she would help me. She would just close her eyes and think and really focus back on like the last time she spoke with me and what did the client do and what was the situation, what was the challenge, and really to get centered or get right back to where that was so she could be very, very present and help me in that moment. And I always thought I was always appreciative of that and impressed by that. Let's say you're visiting the in-laws, you're going into the arena or friends or some kind of a situation where you know it could be crazy. You got to prep yourself like a gladiator's arena. You're outside the arena getting ready. You're going into the snake pit. But if you start with that clean slate, start with a cleared off table, you notice when people start dropping unwanted crap on your table because you know you cleaned it beforehand. I talk a lot about goals and goal setting, of course, because this is a productivity podcast. But sometimes it's nice to have a just for fun goal. Like, for instance, I have a goal to eat at a Michelin-starred restaurant once a month. Now, Michelin restaurants are, world-class restaurants. That's basically, they say if a Michelin restaurant gets, if a restaurant gets like 3 stars or whatever is the highest, then it's worth it just to visit that country to go to that restaurant. Another just for fun goal I have is to create a cult movie club. Have a popcorn machine and have some friends over. And it's like a club. You all get together and one person chooses the next movie for next week. And then before the movie goes on, the popcorn is being made and you give a little in-service about the film. That'd be fun. I've always been fascinated with luxury and galas, like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Gala they have in Boston for the, I think it's the Boston Children's Hospital. I like that. I like anything world class. I'm interested. How do you make it work? That's cool. So these are your just for fun goals. Next, I want to share another very simple productivity tool that you can use. All you do is get a 5-subject notebook. And what I do, just keep this, put on today's date, right? Today's date in the corner of the page. And then you just use this as a scratch pad, basically, for snippets for your journal. And actually, I use a system there. I put a little dash and a circle around it. That tells me that that is an item to talk about in my audio journal when I'm scanning through at night. So audio journal ideas, meeting notes, reminders, to-dos, brainstorming. You capture it on the day that it happened. And then you can always have a little like debriefing time where you're like, if you have some time to kill, put on some nice music you like and go through your notebook, and then you can put stuff. I use Scrivener to store some of the extra stuff that I don't want to throw away, ideas and things like that. And this way, having this 5-subject notebook, now I don't have loose papers everywhere. And that was a big problem I was having. And I was rewriting everything 2 and 3 times to capture it so it wouldn't go away. So this helps. Also, if I have great quality questions, I just jot them down right where they are. And I always have this at arm's length. I also have plenty of ideas for my blog or the podcast or social media. And I mark those with a little arrow facing to the right. Recommended movies, TV shows, music. And usually when I'm getting close to the end of the day, I'll put a little double line. That's a musical habit, because at the end of a musical piece, you have a double line to show you that's the end. So that'll, I might allow an extra page if I'm still thinking about that day, so I can go on to the next day. And it just helps you really, it connects with how a flurry life can be. Days can whip by. And this system, using the 5-subject notebook in this way, really helps you capture all those ideas. Well, today's been fun. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to offer you an excellent free offer. 3 free coaching sessions with me, whether on the phone or Zoom, for 30 minutes each. And we would talk about your roles and goals. So I'll help you identify the 15 to 20 different roles you play, the hats that you wear, which is so important, so helpful, the number one time management skill there is. And then we'll create mini mission statements for each role and some goals for all these roles and a little plan of action so you can be on task. You'll be able to have an accountability partner, because we'll connect each week and review the assignment for last week, make sure you did it and talk about it, try to refine it a little bit better. And then maybe at the end, I'll ask you for a testimonial. That's all I'll ever ask. So this is a limited time. So if you want to claim this excellent gift, just text me 774-230-3928 with the secret code. And the secret code words are roles and goals. If I see that in your header, then I'll know exactly that you want those 3 free sessions to focus on your life. So contact me and we'll get it going. Thanks again.